Javier, I just looked at oil demand back 20 years. It's a beautiful rising chart of oil prosperity. We're getting almost back to it off this pandemic. Do you just assume that oil demand gets back to trend?
Yeah, almost Tom has gone actually back to trend. We are around 100 million barrels a day over the winter. And the expectation is that that's going to continue. You look at what the futures market is telling you is that demand is going to continue to rise through the spring and into the summer. And summer of 2022 may be the summer of 2021 that Delta basically took away from us and could be a lot of driving and a lot of flying around and therefore oil consumption hitting potentially an all-time high over the summer or later part of the year.
Javier, you and I are weaned on the excellence of Adam Szymanski at Deutsche Bank. Everybody took the Excel spreadsheet on the back of the Deutsche Bank work and tried to memorize it as well. I want you to play in right now the Russia plug-in. Adam once told me it's so darn hard to know what Russia's going to do. Do you have any clarity on what Russia's going to do on supply and on demand?
Not much of what Adam will say on the good old days, but clearly Russia is struggling to increase production. Will it be able to rise production from current levels? Potentially, yes, but it's going to take effort, it's going to take more drilling, and it's going to take a bit of time. So the notion that Russia can easily increase production from current levels, I dismiss it, and I think that therefore we need to look at Russia increasing very slowly, and then that leaves us with Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates as the only members of the OPEC Plus group that actually have enough spare capacity that it was a need today of more production. They can do it on a very short time frame.
Which is the reason, perhaps, Javier, that we got this big reaction to the attack of the Houthi militants on the United Arab Emirates, because it is this swing producer at a time of such tight supplies. What's the longer-term outlook based on the reaction in markets? Is it simply that if everything goes right, oil prices will stay where they are, or that the market is so tight that any disruption whatsoever will only send things higher?
I think that the market is a bit binary. Obviously, we have supply disruptions. We are going to have higher prices. We saw that in December when we have a relatively small supply disruption in Ecuador that was enough to send prices surging, and it continues today. But also we face the risk of Omicron and what is going to happen in China. And we don't know yet. And we're not going to get much clarity from China until the end of the Olympics and the Chinese New Year. So that there is a bit of balance. But yes, the physical market is very tight. And let's not forget that also the financial market is going to play his role. Above $90 a barrel, lots of call options on 90, 100, 110, all the way to 150. If we hit those levels, those layers of call options, then Wall Street will push the market much higher.